Although fear might appear to arise quickly, it is actually a step-by-step process. You can stop the descent into fear at any point, or you can continue to sink from the high of spiritual optimism to physical chaos. Hello, I'm Mary. Being on a lay mystical path is about love. Love for spirit, love for others, and love for oneself. It is said in the Course in Miracles that love and fear cannot exist in the same place at the same time. This can also be said about light and darkness. Light always dispels darkness. In the same way, love always dispels fear. The information in this video is to help you remain at the spiritual level of fearlessness in a state of love, knowing that you are loved and able to love. The Thought Guardian. If you wish to be free from unreasonable fear, you must monitor your thoughts and guard against the creation of threats and the generation of fear. It is much easier to avert the whole process of fear than to stop the descent once it has begun. Do not go gentle into that dark night. Maintain spiritual balance by looking at your situation objectively. Face your fears without buying into them. They can be your friends and indicate a point of greatest potential for growth. Have faith in the universe, your soul, and your ability to handle what you are being shown. We have now left the spiritual realm and we have descended into the mental level. Doubting Thomas. As you begin to doubt, synchronicity with spirit and universal consciousness is lost. You no longer trust that there is a rhyme or reason for the unfolding of events. The loss of connection to spirit adversely affects your thought patterns. A real or imagined threat becomes the basis for your fear and pulls you off balance. As you lose your faith and doubts creep in, negative thinking accelerates. At the same time, learning and insight decelerate, and you brace yourself for what lies ahead. Censorship of the flow of energy occurs. Antidotes at this point are prayer, further observation before judgment, creating options, non-attachment, positive thinking, and affirmations to reprogram negative thinking. Worrywart. You begin to expand your fear by projecting it into the future. It has always been this way. It will always be this way. Becomes your woeful cry. A prevailing negative focus of doom and gloom sets in. The flow of information is censored as you cut off communication and cease to search for alternatives and answers. You stop talking about what is happening within you and brood. You refuse to listen to others or accept advice. You counteract any suggestions with, "But what if?" responses. Antidotes at this point are further and complete investigation, opening the lines of communication, soliciting objective feedback, and chanting. Barrier reef. We now drop down to the emotional level. Loss of control at the mental level and continued negative thinking adversely affects emotions. You begin to mistrust people in general or one person in particular. You might cut someone out of your life, manipulate a relationship, or project negative agendas on others. You lose connections and support as you erect walls and defenses. Others are seen as part of the problem or unwilling to help. Anger becomes a contributing factor at this level and also justification for fear. Relationships are censored as you become increasingly self-isolated. Antidotes at this point are maintaining physical and emotional contact with others, not blaming others for your fear, and doing something which makes you feel happy. Self-deflation. You start to lose power and effectiveness in certain situations. Self-criticism increases as labeling begins. Emotional dis-ease in the form of perfectionism, rejection, abandonment, guilt, pride, or martyrdom fuels the seed of fear as the descent picks up. Loss of power begins at this level as you wallow. You neglect any form of self-care and become your own worst enemy. You will not help yourself. Avoidance behavior is likely as you put off facing your fear while allowing situations to worsen and feelings to escalate. Antidotes at this point are going through the fearful situation, seeking immediate resolution or support. Nuclear fear. Loss of control at the emotional level leads to the descent into the physical level. Continued negative emoting adversely affects the physical body. Bodily functions begin to shift. You bloat, have a nervous stomach, excessive urination, and restlessness. Sleeping patterns are disrupted. Your fear is becoming exaggerated beyond any perceived threat and takes on a life of its own. It starts to control you. Physical censorship begins to arise, and you find yourself crying, shaking, or overeating mindlessly. You become trapped in your all-consuming fear. Antidotes are limited and slow to take effect at this point, but they are counseling, meditation, journaling, and shocking insights into truth, which can lead to a return to reality. Panic box. You experience a complete loss of perspective and orientation in regards to reality. You are not grounded and may be totally out of control. Your fears are unfounded, based in dark fantasies, and out of proportion to the situation or events. You are unreachable, out of touch with friends and family, and they are unable to help you regain perspective. Censorship by the body begins. You are immobilized by physical malfunctions, which become incapacitating. You vomit, have diarrhea, or heart palpitations. In addition to physical elements, you experience debilitating depression, panic attacks, and phobias. Antidotes at this point are limited, but include retreat, rest, medical intervention, and time needed for healing. Predisposing factors. are tiredness, unfamiliar surroundings, change or lack of routine, poor diet, no exercise, loneliness and isolation, boredom, alcohol, or drugs. Predisposing factors can affect how you address and handle your fears. This is why self-care is so important. It helps you maintain perspective and rebalance when life issues arise and threaten to disturb your inner peace. You become resilient and able to maintain awareness, optimism, and problem-solving abilities without descending into fear. I created this short video to help you understand and cope with fears whenever they arise. Remembering the psychological process associated with fear gives you a tool to remain at the spiritual level of love and not descend into the darkness.